How do you know Miss Ashwood? We've known each other for many years. The ride turned to Matt, examining him miniaturely. You must be Matt. Nobody's told me your full name. I'm just Matt. Well, please sit down. I'm sorry I can't offer you any refreshments. There is a cafe, although of course it's closed now, but perhaps you wait on the train. Richard and Matt sat down in front of a desk. What's the exhibition about? Richard asked. It is, without question, the most remarkable exhibition of dinosaurs' fossils ever assembled in London. Droid replied, you saw the Diplodocus as you come in. He spoke very quickly, and all the time his eyes never once left Matt could feel himself being weighed up, assumed very hard to miss it. It's about 150 million years old and probably the longest land animal that ever lived. Shipped all the way from the United States, bone by bone, just for the exhibition, and then there's first-rate Ceratosaurus, a recent find. It would tear you apart in seconds if it were still alive, and then there are the museum owners' specimens, including a variety intact Velociraptor's skeleton. It resembles a crocodile all through. In fact, it's no relation. He stopped suddenly. But of course that's not why you're here. We want to know about Raven's Gate, Richard said. So Miss Ashwood told him. She wouldn't tell us anything, she said. We had to meet you. Do you know what it is? Matt asked. Raven's Gate. Yes, I do. Can you tell us? That depends. I'm not entirely sure. Matt ran out of patience. Why is it that nobody wants to help me? He demands you sit here, tapping away at your laptop and talking about dinosaurs. You don't know what I've been through. I've been dumped in yokes. I've been pushed around and terrorized. And the only people who have tried to help me have ended up dead. Richard doesn't want me hanging around with him, and now we're come all the way down, and here you're not saying anything either. You were the one who wanted to see us. Why won't you tell us what we want to know? He's right. Richard agreed. We've spent hours on our train to King's Cross, not to mention the price of a ticket. You've got to make it worth a while. Red had sat silent through all this. Now he looked at Matt more carefully. Matt, I take it you were the boy on the internet. In the library, a great mailing. Yes, Matt nodded. How did you know I was searching for Raven's Gate? Thanks to a simple piece of software. Whenever anyone and anywhere in the world enters those two worlds, I am not informed at once. Why, I can't tell you that yet, and apologize for mustering. You might. You, Matt, We live in a world with so many dangers that we have to be careful what we trust. Please bear with me for a moment. There are things I need to ask you. He paused. You are in Greater Malling. Is that there your life you live? No, I'm living in Leicester Malling. It's a village. I know, Leicester Malling, David interrupted. How long have you been there? I don't know. 2 or 3 weeks. Droid passed his hands together underneath his chin. You must tell me everything, he said. I want to know everything that has happened to you. I need to know exactly what brought you to me here today. He leant back in his chair, began at the beginning, and didn't leave anything out. There was only one guard on night shift at the museum. There should have been 4, but like many of London's institutions, a shortage of funds had held to cut back. 2 other men had been laid off, and one was sick. The other remaining guard was in his 20s. He had only recently come to England from Bulgaria. He didn't speak much of the language, but he was learning. He liked London, although he could have done without the job. He found it creepy patrolling the museum. There were all the dinosaur bones. They were bad enough, but the creature in the glass case were even more horrible stuffed. Rats and leopards, eagles and owls, spiders and scorpions. A huge winged beetles. He could feel their eyes following him as he did his rounds. He shouldn't have got a job at McDonald's or KFC. The pay would have been only fractionally worse. He had just come out of the main door and was walking towards the gate when he had a soft sound like breaking of a twig. What now? It was getting dark and there was no moon tonight. Who is it? He called out. He looked up and smiled to himself, turning the torch off again, and one of the ornate lamps illuminated for the night and blown a bulb. That was what he had heard. I am scared, he muttered it to himself. It was a phrase he had learned, a foreign language. School, only the day before you are scared, he is scared. A second bulb blinked out, when a third and fourth. Rapidly, the darkness made its way along the whole line of lamps, squeaking the life out of the bulbs until none of them remained alight. The guard rubbed his shoulders. It suddenly felt much colder. He breathed out and saw his own breath. Frost. It was crazy. It was almost the end of April, but it seemed that winter had just returned. He passed the switch of his torch. The lamp exploded in his hand, grey smoke curling beneath the glass. That was when the guard decided to call it a night. The museum had its own sophisticated alarm system. It could look after itself, and if he was fired, what did he care? He could always get that job at KFC. The guard unlocked the gate and scrolled through, then crossed the road, dodging the traffic through to South Kensington Tube Station. He didn't see the shadows reaching out to enclose a museum of all the soft white mist that tickled over the grass. All he knew was that he wanted to get away. He didn't once look back. Matt finished his story. He shivered in the sudden cold, but neither Richard nor the professor seemed to notice it well. "What do you think?" Richard asked. Professor Droyd turned on his desk table. "It's almost impossible to believe," he said. "From a warehouse in Ipswich to Lancaster Malling, and then to here, nobody would believe it. Even to you, it must seem incomprehensible, but let me tell you straight away, Matt, you're meant to be here. There are no coincidences. It's all happening the way it was."